The Hebrew text in the Bible has hidden formats. By revealing these formats, I will prove the first writer's words were hidden from you. These formats look like poetry as I group them into small paragraphs. Their grouping will become known as a psalm, and together they become psalms. Let me show you our Creator's 12 commandments, listed in Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. Any father of a family or his wife who did not obey any one of these 12 commandments, our Creator demanded they bring him a sin offering. Thus, our Creator defined the word sin as not obeying any one of these 12 commandments. Next, I want to show you how I changed one word in Exodus 26, verse 26, the word bars to arches, and the words now reveal the style of the roof for our Creator's tent for meeting with Him. Let me show you the translator's words from the preface of the 1611 King James Bible. They gave 4 reasons for themselves or others to edit the Bible's words. The red arrow at the top points to their 3rd reason to edit the text. By the light and feeling we attained unto ourselves. The next red arrow down points to them giving the title, the Divine, to a clerk named Gregory. The next block of words, they point out they were happy that the first emperor of Rome established the year to the course of the sun. Behind this text means Nebuchadnezzar ordered his kingdom to follow our Creator's calendar when he stopped eating grass. Did you notice the letter S in sun is capitalized? This is to give respect to the Egyptian sun god Ra. Have you seen the Egyptian obelisk in the Vatican's front yard? The last arrow points to your reward for studying the Bible. Your reward is to have a fellowship with the saints and participation of a heavenly nature that will never fade away. There is no such thing as nature to a truthful Christian. Our Creator created everything. By their own words, they were not seeking to know our Creator or Jesus. Not everyone has the knowledge to correct every word. I have an old Bible program that has the New American Standard Bible 1977 concordance to help find a better word. Their concordance has the number of times they use that English word in a parenthesis for that Hebrew word. The translators removed his name, YHVH, to put in 2 titles, Lord and God. I replaced those titles using the letters Y and V as his name, for the Hebrew language does not have a J, O, or W. By using these 2 letters, I am closer to the truth than anyone using J, O, or W for his name. So why is there a single letter O in the Hebrew text 1,095 times? No proper English was used? The blue highlighted text is text that I am removing. The red highlighted words are little words that I'm adding. Gray italic words are words that I added. To respect and honor our Creator, all capital letters in purple are our Creator's words. This is Jesus' prophecy, for I am revealing the first writer's words to tell you the true truths about Jesus. As the text is revealed, you can taste the writer's style of wording. Their words will take your belief to trusting our Creator. You will be watching prophecy before your eyes as I edit true truths back into their psalms. Okay, I'm going to continue on Ezra, and I'm hoping to finish it up today. I don't know if I'm going to get that far, but I'm going to run off to the side here what I have found. So I'm going to be behind the screen today, and you can see what the text is and what I'm looking for. So I know that I need more help on that, but I just thought I'd try it out today. Okay, now I forgot to set the page up here. Okay. Now, let's see. If the story is going to follow in line, they came to Jerusalem, and the silver and gold, by the house of our Creator, to this priest and his priest, or this person and this priest. and the number of the weight according at the time of those who returned as survivors from Israel. Now, what this text is going to do here, let's see, separate our people from the land. Okay, now this story is going to say that they're there in Jerusalem, but you can't really trust it. This story is actually going to take place back by the river in Egypt. Now, when these things began completed, and these things had been completed, there's no such thing as princes. So who are they? I'm going to just leave that a blank right now. Approached me the people of Israel. It has to be our people. Our people. And I'm going to put that up here and then go to the end. And because we know who they are, they're all from Israel. So our people, let me look for something here, have not separated themselves. I guess you need to see that on the screen. What I'm going to do here is take a look and read down here from the races. In adding that, changing this word people. Of the lands. This has to be leaders. The tribe leaders approached me and said, our people have not separated themselves from the races in the land. Now, this land is probably going to be like Egypt. So it might have to get changed later, but I hate that when I do that. Hold on a second. It never shows up until I've got to get rid of the marking up. I wish you could shut this tracking crap off forever. But you can't do that. They just don't give you that option. Okay. The races in the land. Whoops, I was going to get rid of that, not add that. Now, that would be like the end of this verse. So then it's got to be divided according to their abomination. Now, the problem is it was a law by our Creator not to have interracial marriages. So, and said to our people, so this is out because I can't put it into a 4-verse any other way. Approached me, comma, and said our people, and that separated themselves, comma, from the races in the land. Okay. So now I've got a 4-verse grouping here. Now I need this over here. And okay, sorry about that. According to their abomination, that isn't what was true. That's not true. The Canaanites have long been dead, and so have these other people. These were wiped out. I've got there's actually a psalm that says they blotted them out, so to not be remembered anymore. And yet here they are in the text still, 1,000 years, 800 years later, and they're now Amorites to the Amorites, Egyptians and Amorites. So, but here with the words Egyptians, you can't say that they're coming from any place other than Egypt right now. But anyways, that's just a hint for me as I'm reading the text here. Races in the land. For Egypt. Because I seeing that if they're intermingling with Egypt, it's those races that are in Egypt. Okay, so that corrects where the land is, what we're talking about. And this has to be the tribe leaders. But let me go on here. For they have taken some from their, well, you take one, you take all, any. For they have taken not of their daughters as wives for their sons, so that the holy race is intermingled with the people on the land. Okay, now you can see how these two are going to connect because they've got pretty much the same like text. So I'm trying to make sure that I don't have a doubling of the text. Okay, I just wanted to check my mic to make sure that was working. For they have taken their daughters as wives for their sons. Now, when this text is like this, that means that it was, or in this color, this was added in 1977 NSAB. This is the text I'm using because I have a concordance for it that you've seen in the intro. So I'm going to use these words, but I'm going to leave them italic. As wives for their sons. Now they also should be saying they have taken our daughters for their sons. And it wouldn't be so, it'd be now. Whoops. Replace the word so. Let me check real quick to see if the word so is actually in the text. No. So now our race no now yeah, don't need this word. Now our race has no, it is. So is intermingled. Now here's something interesting. When I click on the word intermingle, the Hebrew word here, but look down here, it's only used this one time. So it's used as associated twice, or became a surety. Mingled once. Make a bargain. Associate, okay. If I stay with the word intermingled, I'm gonna shorten that up as mixed. I don't want 12-year-olds to go looking into a secular dictionary what the word means. So this needs to be shortened up for them. Is intermingled with I might as well just copy everything here. From races in. Oops, I guess I don't need this. Don't need the word for. So let me get rid of the word for here. Get rid of this. With the races in Egypt. Here, if I would have to put other lands. Or other kingdoms. I guess I'll just leave it alone. I don't try to like to repeat two verses that the same. They just don't make sense here. Well, I could get rid of that verse. Mixed. and have been. Let's see about the word foremost here before I take you there. Okay, now what I'm doing here is I've got the word foremost, this unfairness, and this, it's really not unfairness. It's really treachery. To be against our Creator's law for them, this would be a treachery that would be happening. So let me go back here and go like this. And here say they now our race is mixed. Or I'm just going to add them real quick here and get rid of this, as I don't like doubling up, and I can see that this would be better said if I start with another sentence here. For they have been, okay, struggling. So foremost is first is used quite a lot. Foremost is only used once. So now the word this, I guess I'm just reading a bunch. I'm trying to find like the most used here. One, these, this. Used as a woman once. Boy, I tell you what, that's how corrupt the text is. Um, okay. Next, if I get rid of these and say this is, got to go back to faithful. Got to take a look at this again. Faithful, unfaithfulness, treachery. I think it's more or less rebellion. That's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use the word rebellion. This is rebellion because they're rebelling against our Creator for doing what He told them not to do. So I'm going to use the word rebellion. And I think it's within the shadow of this word, so I'm not going to make it my own. But there is that group. When I heard about this matter, okay, I think I can save those two. Let me just check to see something. This word isn't in Strong's Concordance, so I was thinking about changing it to the word of. When I heard of this matter, of this, actually has to be rebellion again. When I heard of this rebellion by some, by many, by some. I'm going to add the word some and make it my own word. And I'm going to go like this. And go like that. When I heard of this, I'm trying to get it so it's actually how they would have said it, or how the writer would have wrote it. And when I heard of this, no, I got to go back. I made it worse instead of better. And that wasn't the purpose of what I was doing here. Heard of this rebellion by some. A robe he doesn't have. A priest is not wearing robes from what are supposed to be kept at his house. And there's only so many robes anyway. So I tore my garment. Now, if they're true Israelis, they're wearing what is known as hides. I'll work on that later. I tore my garment. Oh, he's going to pull out his beard and his hair. You know how painful that is? Have you even tried to do that? I tore my garment and sat down. Now, I don't know if he needs to be appalled. So let me see here. Astonished. I guess I'll leave it as appalled. So, sat down appalled. Period. Or I got to see what the word. Because the problem here is when you look at what the text is going to start saying, it has to mean then, I don't need the word then, for everyone else. That's what I need. For everyone else, because we talked about the rebellion by some, for everyone, yeah, for everyone else, it's not trembled. They would have feared, they would have feared the words from our Creator. So I'm going to put the word fear here. And if you don't understand how great of a message that is, you are to fear our Creator. So remember, they're going back to, because they were promised, a lot of them were still believing truly that our Creator was sending them away and punishing them, and then they were going to send the descendants back. So they were still in fear of him and would not have left him. So I have to say everyone else feared, and I sat down, and for everyone else feared the law. That would have been a law. That wouldn't have been a statute. It was more or less a law. The law from our Creator. On account of their unfaithfulness. Yeah, I don't need this here. So I guess I can stick that back over here. On account of their unfaithfulness, comma, these weren't exiles. Exiles is like banishment. So what? It would have been the ones that fled from everything. They weren't kept. They weren't exiles. They were not exiled from Judah. Because when Babylon come down, many of them would have just fled. So what do you call them in another land? On account of their unfaithfulness. The faithful, I'll call them the faithful. The faithful gathered to me. If they were unfaithful, Then you got to have the opposite, the faithful. The faithful gather to me. Now, he can't be set down. We already have that. He sat down appalled. So until evening offering, there's no such thing as an evening offering. At the evening offering, no. And are you getting a feeling that Ezra wrote this, that he was a scribe? Because these words are starting to get personal here. I tore my garment. I arose, getting up off the ground. I arose for my humiliation. Let me see if they got a simpler word. I'm always on the lookout for trying to. Nope, it's only used a couple times and that's it. But it's not going to be humiliation. He is not. I rose from my. He wasn't if he was a king, maybe he would be humiliated. And I arose. From worrying. I don't even think that's a word. That's the word. From worrying. Rose from my worries. My worrying. With my garment torn. And then I fell on my knees. And stretched out my hand, my arms. To Ivy, our Creator. To Ivy, our Creator. I said, we, but the righteous, the others come near him, so it has to be we are ashamed and embarrassed. We are ashamed. Period. To lift. I'm not going to use those. To lift up my face to you. For our, or not our, but their for their for their rebellion, for their rebellion, and this isn't really, it isn't, it's not risen up over their heads. Big deal. That's just wrong. Now, our guilt has to be for our guilt, guiltiness, our guiltiness has grown. And that would be the end of this. Even to the heavens. Yep, right. Yep. So high up, so above our heads. Uh, our guiltiness has grown. Like, like our forefathers. This day, comma, on account of this rebellion of their rebellion, this has nothing to do with it. Not yet, but and now for a moment. No, it's not going to be for a moment either. So I can't use the. And now for your mercy. Now for your mercy. Let me see if that's there in the 8. Yep, mercy. Okay. See, sometimes I actually get it right here. And now it's not working. Now, what's going on with that? That's not a good sign. Let me reopen the program. Okay. Let me get back over here. And now for your mercy. And now, not for, by. He's sending them back, so I have to keep this in mind what I'm doing here. For by, and that's by our creator, so it's all capitals. And now by your mercy. You you it has to be let us escape. This is wrong. You let us escape and grant us and granted us. Boy, it's getting rough here to figure out what the rule. And granted us. I'm reading and it's got to be to return. To return. They weren't in bondage. That's not true. Granted us to return. Well, I gotta put by. It's our creator's cause by extending your kindness to us. Now let's see about the word extending. Let's see. Uh, you stretched. You stretched out your kindness. Your. I'm trying to think how this is going with this here. Love kindness to us. Okay, I don't like any of them. And extended, I can't use that, but showed, I can use that word by showing your kindness to us. That's much better. Now, let's see here. In the sight of Persia, you give relief, also restore to. Yeah, I don't need this. He's still pleading here. He doesn't have to rehash what he's worried about. He's with his arms spread open on his knees, looking towards heaven, and he's making his plea about how they know that those that they're going back to the land are already showing rebellion to him. So can't have. So this doesn't make any sense to mention this. No, our Creator, what can I say? I don't see that. It's showing you kindness. I don't need this. What? And say to you for some have I don't like the word forsaken. Got to be a better word. Have failed. Have failed. Oops, this is a period. Your commandments? No, your command. You commanded. Now, this was from Moses, this law came from. So it has to be from him by your this has to be from Moses. I'm going to put telling them Yeah, it's this, all this. This doesn't matter. But it goes to the point that they were unclean, and that's why they kill them. A polite word for the unclean here was they were having sex with each other, their children, and animals. So that's why there was abomination. But the object is that's what was going on there. And it wouldn't be now. Promise telling them, do not give your daughters to their sons, nor take their daughters to your sons. That's what I was looking for earlier. That's the law. Okay. This is nothing. True. After they possess the land, they can do what they want as long as they're obedient to our Creator. So, what you're and after all this, this is our great. No, it's not a great. It's a rebellion not to obey our Creator. Because this is a law. It's not a. It's kind of a command, but it's a law. Statutes are the highest. Commandments are next. Laws and then guidance. This is not a guidance. This is a law. Don't need any of this. The text is going to line up pretty good because it's going to say, do not give your, and then it's going to be a reminder that, but we again broken. Broken your law, or your law, not laws, law. This writer doesn't seem to know what a commandment is. And intermarried. Intermarried. This don't need. Well, will you be angry with us to the point of our destruction? Um, when I'm saying this was said at the river, they knew that they were to be humbled because they're worried about marauders or raiders. So it doesn't mean like there was 80,000 of them leaving, but there would have been a good many of them. If there's 20,000 of them, that's a lot. Will you be angry with us to the point of our destruction? Okay. Whoops, he's asking a question. Don't need this. Are we left as fleers? Boy, for a guy that failed English all his life, for we left as fleers to be remnants. We're left as fleers. I don't need this word. Don't need. We left as fleers to. Don't need this. I need this. And then I don't need this. Fleers to this day. No, I stand before you because of this. That is not needed because I'm looking for behold is now we are before you. In our guilt or their and until I find text that will go with this, I have to add those words because it's just not getting done. Okay. Because he should be asking next is that what can I do to atone for this? Or how can we atone for something like this? So that said, that means 9 got to clean up. So let me go down here and clean it up. And this has to be a gap here. It has to be 2. Now I guess I gotta figure out what's going on here. To you, our creator, I say, I plea to you. Now I guess I say, to our creator, I said, we are ashamed. Let me clean up more of the text here just to. Well, this should be a 1 here, but this is definitely going to be split. This has got to be just a 1 space. This has got to be a 2 space. And then there's text. Like I said, yes, he's got to be saying something more next. So the breaking of the format is good. I just got to don't need this. And don't need any of this. And then I have a 4-verse grouping there. So let me go up here to where it says 6. And say I don't need this. Don't need this, nor this. Or this. Get rid of all that. Then use those verses. And then down here, I can now get rid of that. And save that. So that's the text that came out right now over just chapter 9. Yes, Ezra 9. Which is pretty good. And it didn't take that long to do that one. That only took an hour, which is not bad. Um, but you can see, just like on the other side, it's a 4-verse grouping, and this text will add to that group there. And I'm going to have to put them in order, but I know there's something missing here yet. So if I just do something like that, and say that's that, it's just missing. Like I said, I could put in, and don't know what we're to do about how to atone for this, because down here they're going to get a little, he's going to get a little help. Okay, this is going to be the end. And as you can see, I got already down here and don't need any of the listing of names, and still don't need any of this as well. But all this is not needed. It's just names that we don't need to know about, or they aren't important anymore. So I only have 19 verses to go, and then order Ezra to reorder it and group it correctly. I got to get over here, because a lot of times they use these two words at the very beginning, now will or now while. Usually neither one of them words are in the text itself. So it was, I could say as, and B is just as correct by getting rid of these two. As Ezra was praying, which means he was talking to our Creator and making Ezra was praying and praying and speaking, it has to be speaking of our speaking of, no, that isn't right either. It's making our confession. So it wouldn't be, he was praying, making or giving. I still like speaking. Sorry about that. Speaking as Ezra was, as Ezra was speaking. I like that, because we know it's going to, this book is going to be written by a scribe. So Ezra was, as Ezra was praying, speaking of our confession, of our rebellion, This, no, he wasn't even in Jerusalem. He's by the river. This, they've already gathered up there with him, and then they told him the problem. So I'm just remembering what the text said above. So they might have changed chapters, but I didn't forget what I was just editing. And since I'm the scribe today, I will get rid of this. Elam. Elam, he did what? He had to came to me. And now it's not as, it has to be after. After I was praying, speaking of our rebellion, Elam came to me. Whoops. Came to me and said, don't need this. And said, I have to say, yes, he's got to agree with him first, like he knows what he was doing. Said, yes, we have some have been faithful and have married foreigners. From races in from the races in Egypt. Oops, this has got to be a comment. I gotta put this, a period, in this, and in this. Yet there is hope. There is a way. Not hope, there is a way for them. because you wouldn't travel with him. It's like you'd have to be thinking about, he would have to be thinking, shall I separate ourselves from him? I can see his thinking in that direction. But this guy walks up and says, hey, I thought of a way. That there is a way for them. Don't need it. Let us make a vow. Vow is something like, it's the same thing as a promise, but a little bit stronger. You're supposed to really obey your words, not like you promise and then you don't do it. A vow is you must do it. And this is to our Creator. You don't vow to somebody else. You would swear to somebody else. But the word is vow. Let us make a vow. Let them make a vow. Yeah, it's to our Creator. But the word vow is meaning to our Creator. To put away, to send away. All the wives, not the children. The children are still descendants. And I'm not sure if I've got to send away their wives. Now you have to remember when they left Egypt, males that married their daughters traveled with them as well. So they weren't all Israelis coming out of the promised land. They would know that. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to send away their wives. Oops. Send away their wives. And this is needed. This is law. From send away their wives. For not at the law, for the law from our Creator. For the law from our Creator, let it be done to be let it be done to be according to I'm going to have to say our past, because it's not a law. I know the laws. There is no law that covers this. So I'm going to have to word past, because I know that the males that married their daughters went into Israel, to the promised land. So, and there is that argument of they approached Moses when they were in the Sinai, that an Egyptian son was arguing with an Israeli son, and he cursed our Creator, and then they wanted to know what to do about this son, and what our Creator said, kill him. He cursed me. So it's not blasphemy, it's who curses our Creator is the death penalty, and also will never enter into heaven. So let it be done according to our past. This matter is your responsibility. But we will be with you this matter. Well, arise would not be arise, it would be stand up, for the faithful. For this matter is your responsibility. Now, this is one of the rarest times ever that I am not putting major words in here. If you notice, I have like a large or major word, and you can see I've got two of these all running all a lot. Here's three, but send away is could be like a hyphen to it. Make, vowel. But that's how the best writers write, is two words and little together. So like here I've got done according to past. And I just need that because that's what's going to be done. Let this be done according. It just needs to be there just to keep the story flowing. But I try to keep it down to 2. For this matter is your responsibility. And I will be using this word. But you notice I'm not using any of those words, but the 2 subjects are as we and you. And a lot of times I will use like the word our creator as a you instead of his name. I ask you, and then break it down to another verse. So here I'm this is not about our creator, but it has 2 subjects. Okay. Be courageous and act. It's not courageous. Be wise and act. For us. I have to have Ezra standing before them now, that they've separated them as a group, and only those that weren't faithful. So stood for before this is not correct. I guess he's going to stand before them all. I wanted it just a group, but I gotta. Say all of us. Stood before all of us. And as Israelis Both is going to be vowel. Israeli vowel. I don't need this, I guess. To this proposal, this request. And they took and they spake their vow. Okay. Okay. This is not true. This is not true. This was not true. They're not in. Not everyone needed to do this. They were in their own. They were in their. Oh well. And you can't kick them out of Israel because this is a law and only a commandment. They are to be sent away. They know the commands of our Creator. And this wouldn't be needed. This is what He's already done. And I've already got all this said. This is just making up a story for a rainy season. Yet, oh well. This is no good. I've already got it. And investigating the matter, no. They already did this. They are already taken care of. Double speak, double stories, double. So then this is out. And that would be the end of that story. So now I can take this and clean it up. And it looks like I will put it together and then show how I got it together. And then make a video explaining all the next editing and how I move the text around, because I need to show for history what I'm doing and why I'm doing, because much of what you're hearing is me babbling, but oh, I forgot to do the next one then. All right. Still got to get rid of some words here. After I was praying, speaking of our rebellion, Elam came to me and said, yes, some have been unfaithful and have married foreigners from the races in Egypt, yet there is a way for them. Let them make a vow to send away their wives from the law from our Creator. Let it be done according to our past. Stand up. Now, there is nothing in Exodus that says this, that when they gathered everybody together, that they had to give up foreign wives. But and this would be they spake their vow. So I gotta find 3 verses back here. I can see I could use this word, but I can't use this. Can't use any of that. According to our counsel. Respect their vow according to our counsel. Oops. according to our counsel. Period. Under the counsel. Oh, I don't need this. According to our counsel. Ooh. Married. Married foreign wives. Did not add. To our guilt. Period. So let me take that all the way down to the bottom. Now give me that one verse. Yeah, you can say I'm adding all this as mine, but I think it's important to have these verses here. And this would be pretty much and they spoke their vow according to our counsel, who married foreign wives. To not add to our guilt. So, there. Done. And that is the end of Ezra there. And like I said, I'm going to take this and combine it with the others and put out a final video on what I've done to rearrange the story. And I might now, well, I think I'm still going to need the Habakkuk and maybe Nehemiah before I start putting all the pieces together. But the thing here is all these verses need to go together to tell the story, the truthful story of what happened and what they did. So other than that, I'm going to call it an end for the day, and see you in the next video.